In 1899, the Bethlehem Steel Corporation opened in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania, along the Lehigh River. The corporation made steel to build railroads, buildings, ships, and weapons, as it continued to grow into the largest shipbuilder and second largest steel plant in America. Providing jobs and opportunities for thousands of people, the Bethlehem Steel Corporation took the nation by storm. Before becoming the Bethlehem Steel Corporation, this plant was known as the Bethlehem Iron Company. The Bethlehem Iron Company was created primarily by David Thomas, a Welsh inventor who discovered how to efficiently burn coal to make iron. The company first began producing iron in 1840, providing iron during the Industrial Revolution and to places all along the East Coast. While the iron business was successful, three key leaders of the corporation, Asa Packer, head of Lehigh University, Robert Sayre, and John Fritz, recognized that steel was fast becoming a serious competitor to the iron business due to its increased strength and longevity. What made the transition from iron to steel possible was the perfection of an efficient and cost-effective steelmaking process developed by the European inventor Henry Bessemer. Packer, Sayre, and Fritz managed the switch from iron production to steel, and in 1873, the Bethlehem Iron Company rolled out its first steel rails. Immigrants coming from countries such as Ireland, Poland, Hungary, Czechoslovakia, and Germany had a great impact on the corporation. They provided the labor needed to keep the factory running and added many different cultures to the area.
I think it was a very positive influence. You had people coming from all over Europe to work in the steel mills here in Bethlehem. And those immigrants brought with them their own churches, their own priests, their own ways of thinking about things, and that greatly broadened what we had in America.
In 1901, Charles Schwab bought Bethlehem Steel and headed the corporation.
And he bought Bethlehem Iron Works, which later became Bethlehem Steel. He was over in Europe and he saw these gray mills that could roll structural steel. And he bought those mills and brought them over here. And that was the way that they rolled the steel for the skyscrapers in New York City and elsewhere. I think he's the reason the company grew like it did.
Schwab's revolutionary ideas helped the corporation prosper. In 1911, Eugene Grace became the vice president of the Bethlehem Steel Corporation, and in 1916, he became president. As a top executive at Bethlehem Steel, Grace worked closely with Schwab. They continued to develop the shipbuilding and construction business and grew the corporation further by becoming a major supplier to bridge projects across the country. Under Grace's leadership, the corporation soared to the second largest steel plant in the country. He was also instrumental in guiding the corporation through the Great Depression and World Wars I and II. World War I was a major factor in building up the Bethlehem Steel Corporation. It provided a consumer for steel, increased revenue, and new products to sell.
Bethlehem Steel had great capability in manufacturing the steels for armament, for tanks, for ships, for all kinds of things. People all over the world wanted that armament and that steel from Bethlehem Steel.
The factory grew and grew, becoming more prominent in the Lehigh Valley and throughout the United States of America. Bethlehem Steel produced the steel for major buildings such as the Empire State Building, the Chrysler Building, the Bank of Manhattan, and many more. They also produced steel for major bridges, including the Golden Gate and George Washington bridges. Bethlehem Steel had plants all across the United States, the largest of which was Sparrows Point in Baltimore Harbor. Soon, the number of employees reached a total of 285,000 nationwide, with 35,000 in the Lehigh Valley alone.
You know, my grandfather worked there. My father worked there. My relatives worked there. It had a tremendous influence on the area and the nation and on the state. It played a tremendous part in the Second World War.
The World War II era marked the height of Bethlehem Steel. The corporation led the nation's production of ships and weapons. They produced bomb casings, armor-piercing shells, gun forgings, airplane parts, warships, and much more.
War needs ships. The United States production of ships has been a prime factor in turning the tide to victory. There is no other navy afloat that ship for ship, man for man, gun for gun, can equal the United States fleet. And we are proud to have had a major part in the building of this magnificent fighting force.
Mr. Grace, who was in the president of the company, said we're going to build a ship a day, and that's exactly what they were able to do.
They created a total of 1,127 ships during the course of World War II. The Bethlehem Steel Corporation became the largest shipbuilder in America as a result of its World War II efforts.
But as it transitioned and the world transitioned from steel to other products, Bethlehem Steel started phasing out. And they had a vision in 1959 to establish the Lehigh Valley Industrial Park. What that did was that it developed a nonprofit organization which was made up of local representatives that bought properties, particularly land that could be developed, and the LVIP was born. Thousands of jobs were developed as a result of this. And then this was a model that was used throughout the nation. Their towns and their communities going through this transition of, changing from a wartime economy and a booming economy of certain goods and products to a different type of economy. And that's what really has saved the Bethlehem area and the Lehigh Valley.
As a result of these economic changes, Bethlehem Steel was losing money, fast. Floods, fires, and mechanical issues cost the corporation millions of dollars. Laborers going on strike and demanding better pay caused additional setbacks. The company was soon losing market share to competitors that could produce lower grade steel for a significantly less cost. Thousands of workers were laid off as the executives attempted to save the corporation. Unfortunately, their efforts were not successful. On November 18, 1995, the Bethlehem plant shut down after 122 years of steel production, marking the end of an era in the Lehigh Valley. The corporation declared bankruptcy in 2001, and in 2004, the Bethlehem riverfront property was purchased by Bethlehem Works, who had plans for redeveloping the site. The development project included new apartment buildings, restaurants, shopping centers, and offices. Plans for the Arts Quest Steel Stacks project began in 2002, with the goal of adding to the cultural offerings in the area. This multifaceted music venue is set directly in front of the awe-inspiring blast furnaces and provides a unique space for local and big-name musicians to showcase their talents. The Bethlehem Redevelopment Authority has future plans to create a park centered around the blast furnaces and the history of the Bethlehem Steel Corporation. These new developments have helped to improve the quality of life in the Lehigh Valley by providing jobs, improved cultural opportunities, and community centers.
But I think the legacy we left was a very positive one. It was a great corporation.
It was a great manufacturing company.
If it was done by Bethlehem Steel, it was done well. That's what I would say.
The Bethlehem Steel Corporation was extremely prominent in the Lehigh Valley. It has left behind a legacy that cannot be disputed. It provided jobs for tens of thousands of people and was instrumental in helping build and sustain the American dream. From its beginnings as an iron plant in the 1840s, the corporation grew into a nationwide powerhouse before declining and falling into bankruptcy. Today, the site of the Bethlehem Steel Stacks serves as a community center and tourist attraction that is enjoyed by many, and is also a reminder of the great contribution that Bethlehem Steel provided to the Lehigh Valley and the nation as a whole.